Good morning. Just want to do a quick sound check. You guys hearing me all right? Anybody? Thank you, Freddie. That's good. Thanks, Peter. All right. Cool stuff. So we'll get going in about a minute or so. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about is the cloud solution that Mitsubishi FX5U can actually bring into the marketplace. When we're talking about a cloud solution, we're talking about something that can connect over, for example, GPRS or a 3G type connection to our Adroit SCADA. So let me get started. All right. Okay, guys. So yes, quick little introduction is what I've given you now. So you guys know more or less what I'm going to be talking about. Once again, just to let people know what it is, I'm going to be talking about connecting Mitsubishi FX5U to the cloud. I will actually show you an example towards the end. What it is a little video that I took, about a 5-minute video, just showing you what the box looks like and how it did the setup from the PLC to the SCADA and everything like that. Okay. And then once that is done, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you guys. It's still cloud-based. It's still interesting. But I think this is something that people will really appreciate and enjoy quite a lot. Okay. Then I'm going to take you through a quick scenario. Now, I'll explain the scenario as we go along. I always find that the best way to explain something is to explain to somebody through a scenario, through a solution, which is on after that. So I'll show you the PLC program. I will show you how to program the modem that we're using. Okay, the server part is where the Adroit is situated. I'll configure the driver for you. I'll show you how to do that quickly, and Adroit UI. I'll show you what the Adroit UI should look like as well. Okay. So guys, if you want, feel free to ask questions. I will answer them towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Don't disappear on me. Just after the video, I will still take your questions. All right. So guys, as you can see at the bottom of the page, there's my email address. If you have any queries about what I'm showing you, any questions that aren't clear to you, everything, email me. I will speak to you as best I can. If I don't have a solution, I will get a solution for you. Okay, let's get started. So a quick scenario, what we want to do is monitor a remote crusher plant on a mine to an Adroit SCADA. Now when I'm talking about a remote plant, I'm talking about something that is really out in the sticks, where you don't have any cabling at all. And you've basically just got a 3G signal, and you want to use that to communicate back to the SCADA. All right. So what is required for this type of solution is a FX5U PLC. All right. Suppose you can use any PLC, but I really like using the FX5U PLC. You can also use our IQR PLC as well. The solution actually works for all the Mitsubishi PLCs, for the FX3 range, for the IQR, and for the Q series. Okay. And then after that, during the FX5U PLC, I'll show you GXWorks 3. How it gets programmed. Then I will show you the FX5U PLC program. Now this program is a specific program for this communication in order to get it to work. It's very important that you get this program from us. Okay, we all have it at Adroit. If we don't have it, we will make sure we get it from someone. I do have it. And then we will email it through to you. All right, and hopefully after the video you'll know more or less what's going on, and it won't be too foreign for you at the end of the day. I find that just getting your feet off the ground helps a lot with these sort of things. Okay, 3G Ethernet modem that we're going to use is a Moxa G3101. I like using the Moxa 3G modems. They're very, very good. This G3101 actually isn't a modem. It is a serial type device that you can actually monitor values over serial to a 3G type situation. But the nice thing about it is you don't need a modem or anything, or well, it is kind of like a modem, but it isn't a modem. You can use it as a modem, or you can use and you can use it as a router obviously as well. And then you need a data SIM card. Guys, a data SIM card, I don't think you'll need more than 2 gigs a month for data, because these PLC type connections have very, very small amount of packets that they send. So they'll send a very, very small string to the SCADA on the other side. Okay, I ran it for a whole weekend once, and I think it used about 150 meg, if that much. Okay, so we're looking at a server. The server is where the Adroit SCADA will be sitting. What you're going to need there is very important. You need a server with a fixed IP address. If you don't know where you're talking to, then you're just going to be talking to nobody at the end of the day. So very important, get a fixed public IP address. I'm not sure how you get these, to be quite honest. I'm sure you get them with the service providers and they'll help you out with that. Okay. And then we're going to be using the MIT-M2M SCADA driver. The M2M stands for machine to machine. This is basically the driver that communicates between the PLC and the Adroit SCADA at the end of the day. All right. So let's move on to the solution. What I used for this solution was the FX5U 32 MRES. Okay, you don't need any special firmware versions or any special hardware versions. As it is over there, it will work. Okay, because we're talking comms at the end of the day. Comms work on these PLCs, no matter how no matter what the serial number is. I think you guys might have known, might have listened yesterday. If you have a certain serial number, under a certain serial number, you can't get the web server to work. Now for this one, it doesn't work that way, fortunately. So for this solution, you can use any FX5U. Okay. And then you need your programming software, GXWorks 3 plus your actual program, which can be supplied by Adroit. Okay. And then the FX5U program, like I said, you can get it from us. What you're going to do is you're going to navigate and configure your IP address and a default gateway of the external device. So navigation, parameter, FX5U CPU, module parameter, and Ethernet port. As you can see there in the diagram, there's the IP address. There you can change it. The default gateway is going to be the actual IP address of the Moxa modem. Okay. Okay guys, you don't have to use a Moxa modem. I just use the Moxa modem because I know that it's reliable and it works. It's worked every single time for me. I know there are others in the marketplace, so you know, I'm not saying that this is what you must do. Okay. And then very important, the external device configuration. This is where you basically set up your connections. And I'll go to the next page, which will show you when you click on that external device configuration, it will open up this page for you. Okay. As you can see, there's the local port number. This local port number is your local port number on your PC. Okay. And it's a socket communication, TCP 1283 is the port number I made it. And then for this example, that over there is the remote IP address that we're talking to. This is a fixed IP address. I am not sure where the server actually sits. I believe it sits in Germany. Okay, I might be wrong on that. And then you need to use port 1281. I'll show you a little bit further on why you need to do that. All right. So you edit the PLC program. This is the PLC program that comes from Adroit. Okay, it's basically just a function block. This function block is a function block that was written by somebody at Adroit. Very, very clever person. I didn't do it, but it made my life easier at the end of the day when I needed to use it. Okay, your default ID is 1 for this. Now 1 is your actual, what you call your address for the PLC. Okay, your default IP, it's not a default IP, it's just the IP address. As you can see, that number over there is in hex. Okay, so but it's the same, it is the actual IP, that 41 dot whatever, that is the IP address of the server on the other side, excuse me. So the default port is port 501. Remember, it was 1281. It's also in hex, port 501. If you convert that number to decimal, then you will see that it is port 1281. Okay. So look at the next page, the Moxa Solution. I'm going to run through this quickly because this isn't our product. This is a third-party product. Okay, so you're going to look at your basic settings to change your IP address. Now this IP address, in this example, I changed it to 192.168.200.26. And if you remember from this slide over here, that is the default gateway. All right. And then very important, now you select on the GSM, GPRS settings. And then underneath that, you select what type of connection you want. You're not going to select SMS or GSM, you're going to select GPRS. Okay, because GPRS is obviously data, and data is what we're going to be using. We're not going to be using GSM because we're not phoning anybody, and we're not using SMS because we're not sending any SMSs to anybody. Okay, the bands, it uses pretty much all the bands. Okay, in South Africa, I've tested this Moxa Solution with MTN, Vodacom, FNB, by the way, and Cell C, and they all work. Okay, they all connect to the network without any issues, as long as you have a data signal, obviously. Okay, so quickly the server setup. So how the communication actually works. Okay. So the PLC tries to establish the connection to the SCADA. All right. What that means is the PLC actually polls the SCADA. Okay. Normally, the SCADA tries to connect to the PLC, so the SCADA will normally poll the PLC, but it doesn't work like that in this case. In this case, the PLC actually tries to connect to the SCADA, and on the SCADA side, it opens up the port, the port 1281. And it basically listens for the PLC to talk to it at the end of the day. Okay. So this is why the server has to have a fixed IP address, by the way. This is to tell the PLC which address it has to communicate with. Okay, very important. The TCP port number has to be opened on the server. So for this example, we use port number 1281. Okay. I think that port number needs to be enabled on your firewall. Okay, when I say enable, you have to open that port. So on your firewall, you have to open that TCP port, and on your Windows firewall, you have to add this as well. Okay, so you open it basically through your firewall, your actual physical firewall, and also the Windows firewall at the end of the day. Okay, so what we use for this example is the Adroit SCADA 10041. There is a later version out. Okay. But that's not ready for the market quite yet. It's under beta testing. It's going quite well, actually. And then we use the Adroit MITS M2M driver, like I spoke about earlier, and this establishes communication between the PLC and the Adroit SCADA. Okay. So quickly, your solution, your server setup. This is the under the driver monitor system. Okay, you're going to add a new driver. I hope you guys are familiar with Adroit. If you guys aren't familiar with Adroit, come speak to us. We will get you guys going. We'll get you guys on a course. Okay. And and you will be able to set this up in no time at all. It's actually a very, very easy solution to use. You can get a SCADA up and going in about 20-30 minutes. Okay. So you add the new driver under the driver configuration. So there where the port number is 1284, that I changed to port 1281. And up top there you see the station number, it's 4. Now if you remember in the PLC program I made that 1. That needs to be 1 as well. Okay, so this is important. You need to change that station address to 1 and your port number to port 1281. Okay. So when you get into the SCADA, the actual SCADA under in the configurator, you need to scan this device. And when we talk about the device, we talk about a tag, which could be a tag that refers to, well, pretty much anything on the Mitsubishi PLC. So instead of scanning the standard Mitsubishi registers as D100, you would now scan it as DW100. Okay, I'll show you guys later on why that is that way. This driver was actually written by a guy named David Jordan. He explained to me how it works. I still don't know 100% how it works, but if you need more help, contact him and he'll be able to explain in more detail how this driver actually works. Okay. So as you can see over there, we've scanned quite a few devices or tags, and as you can see, it's DW10, which will be D10 at the PLC, DW1025, which will be D1025 on the PLC end as well. All right. Now, if everything goes well, this is what your data scope should look like. Okay. When they talk about the data scope, this is the part of the SCADA that actually monitors the comms between the PLC and the SCADA. Okay, once you open this and you see something like this, as you can see, it's sending back a value of DW1000. I'm not sure what value it's in. I think it's 16 over there, and DW1001, which is 0, 1002, which is 80, and so forth. Okay, so if you can pick up those values, you'll be able to know that your PLC comms are actually working. Okay. Oh, sorry, wrong way. So if everything goes well, okay, and you set up everything correctly, then you should be able to communicate with the SCADA, and the values should update on the SCADA as well. Okay, so in this example, like I said, we are using a remote device. The remote device I'll show you in a little video a little later. I'll show you what it looks like. And we're basically simulating what we call a crusher plant. Okay. That's why we have a picture there of a crusher. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you for that. If you guys have any questions, ask me after the session. All right, I'm going to play a video for you now. Now this video is basically going to show you the actual hardware. I'm going to show you how to do the PLC setup, and I'm going to show you how to do the setup in the cloud as well. Okay, I will talk you guys through this. So guys, there you go, there's our box. As you can see, we've added quite a few bells and whistles to it, digital inputs. Okay, those lights on there, they are digital outputs, and of course we've given descriptions to all the outputs as well, so that you know exactly what is working. So that is what it looks like in general, and that simulates our crusher plant. Now if you have a look inside, there's the Moxa device that we're using. Oh sorry, it wasn't the G101, it was the G151. 3151, sorry. So I actually got that wrong in the slide, please don't murder me. And of course the beautiful FX5U PLC. Okay, that error light is there because in some time in the setup it didn't communicate back to the PLC, and once it doesn't, I'll get an error message. Okay, so there's your GXWorks 3. I hope you guys are familiar with it. So as I showed you earlier, you go to your Ethernet port, set up your IP address, Okay, set up your gateway. Extremely important, guys, to set up this gateway correctly. It must be the IP address of the Moxa device. Okay, and then after you've done that, you go to the external configuration like I showed you earlier, and then you're going to add your port number of your PC, and then you also need to add the IP address and the port number of the device you're talking to. So this will be your Adroit SCADA at the end of the day. Okay, and we'll close that, and then once you've done that, always say check, and of course there's no error because I did this correctly. Okay, next place it will go to is the actual place where the registers are set up. As you can see there is, I can't quite see, I think it's D1009 set up over there. Now this word sends back DW1009 to the PLC. Okay, as I showed you guys a little bit earlier. Okay, the green next to that is the comments if you aren't familiar with the PLC. Okay, so it has no bearing on the program. So there's the actual function block, and to program the function block is not difficult at all. The most important things that you need to add there is your default ID, which we added as 1, your default IP address, which is in hex obviously, and then your default port number, which is also hex 501, which translates to port 1281 in decimal. Okay, the rest of those are all basically timers, timeout timers, error timers, that you can set as you need. Okay, so next we'll go on to the Adroit system. This is the actual cloud system. As you can see there, that is what my overview looks like. You've got the trend on the right hand side, you've got the truck that's waiting for something from the crusher. Okay, and then from there we'll go and have a look at the configuration. Takes a while. So once you go into the configuration, well, this is actually the designer, sorry, and then you go into the configuration. I'm going to use one of our tags that we created, and just going to show you where it's scanned. So basically exactly the same as the example I showed you. That's where your DW registers will be. Okay, that's where you're going to scan it at the end of the day. Alright, close there. I'm not going to save that, and there's the driver monitor. When you see those two green lights flashing, generally speaking, you have comms. Okay, so now I'm going to open that, double click on it to open your driver monitor, and like I said earlier, there's your data scope. That brings the values back to your PLC, and that comes directly from the SCADA. It gets it from the PLC. Okay, and then once we've done that, we can go back into the operator page where the plant's actually running. So what I did is there is a little knob on the block where I can increase the speed, and as you can see there, the speed is actually increasing, and I've created an alarm there. This is very much real time at the end of the day. This comes through in less than a second from your PLC to you. Okay, and then I went and I reset it again, took the error away, and boom, it was working. The system's up and going again. And I spoke to you guys earlier about having a bonus, a little bonus for you guys. When I'm talking about a bonus, I'm going to be talking about this. Okay, so what we've done, Vadner at the office has actually done this for us, is he's taken these values, hey, that we have sent through from Adroit, through to Adroit, sorry, from the PLC, and we are sending these values up to the cloud. And when they talk about the cloud, this is actually Azure, for example. Now these values that you see there, those are the values that were logged when I was busy playing with the PLC yesterday. Okay, as you can see there, values going up and down, and yeah, we're quite happy with this. It's a nice little solution. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with Azure. I'm not very familiar with it. Like I said, we had Werner actually programmed this for us, and he got this right for us. So at the end of the day, this is something that you can do as well. It is a little bit tricky. It can be a bit tricky to set up, from what I understand, but it's not. But it can be done. Okay. So yes, we're taking those DW registers that we've written from the PLC to the SCADA, and we are taking that and we are pushing it up to Azure. Okay. And that's all I have to talk about, guys. Thank you for listening. Let me quickly check comments over here. Okay, Rudy, is the port open by the cellular network? It doesn't actually matter. You don't need to speak to MTN or whoever about opening that port. It opens up automatically for you at the end of the day. Can we ask Werner to show the demo? Yes, we can ask Werner. I will speak to him a little bit later and see what he can do for you. We can actually maybe get a webinar going for that as well. Okay. Let's see any more questions. Thanks, guys. Any questions? Yes, Performance Anywhere is a good alternative to Azure. It's actually a very good alternative to Azure. I don't have one set up at the moment, so I can't show that to you. It will take a little bit of configuration. Let me think, do we have a Performance Anywhere set up? I think we do, but I'll have to do that on a DIN DNS does work, okay, but this DIN DNS is something that you actually have to set up inside the Moxa device. Download the GX function blocks. This is not something that you can download. This is a file that we can send to you. Okay, so if you pop me an email, I will gladly send that file through to you. Okay. More questions, guys? Oh, it's very small, very, very small. Yeah, it's very, very small. It's, I don't even think 10% of the PLC. So it's quite a small percentage at the end of the day. Any more questions, guys? Getting so many thanks, and I really appreciate that. I hope this was informative for you guys and you've learned something. And like I said, contact me if you still have questions. I will be able to help you guys. Oh, budget cost. I don't know, to be quite honest. I don't work in If you send me an email, I'll forward that through to our sales guys. So what we'll do then is we will come and see you, or have you come and talk to us. And once you've spoken to us, we can see what your needs are, because every system is different. Okay, you can have what they call 20 IO scan points, and the 20 IO scan points costs X amount. And 50 costs X amount. And when they talk about scan points, this is the actual data that you fetch between the PLC and the SCADA system. A link to download demo Adroit Solution. There is, you can actually, sorry, quick question. Do you want to download the Adroit, or do you want to, the actual Adroit program, or do you want to download this solution? The Adroit can be downloaded from the website. To test and evaluate it, it will run for 2 hours, and then it basically shuts down your, well, it doesn't shut down your system, it just shuts down The IoT platform, that IoT platform can be something like Azure, for example, and even Performance Anywhere, which is also a nice little IoT platform. People hacking, I don't know. I don't think you'll have any hacking. From what I understand, that is a fairly safe solution. Yes, it doesn't have an actual cloud solution. What it has is, like I showed you, Performance Anywhere you could use. So Performance Anywhere, you can set up a little solution. You can bring back certain values to your website as well. Okay, so it's not a cloud solution where it's Adroit somewhere in the cloud, although it can be done. But at the end of the day, Performance Anywhere is the best one to use. Oh, just something that you guys must remember, I didn't mention this in the video. If you want to use the M2M driver, you need to buy a separate license for it. I think they do it per scan point, or I'm not exactly sure. But this is something that I forgot to mention. If you want to do the solution, you need to buy this license from us as well. Okay, or else it just won't work. Okay. No more questions, guys? I hope I'm helpful. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you a lot. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like our page. Sorry, let me see. Secure which IPs can access the solution. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean the actual IPs? That would be the IP address of the. That would be the IP address of the PC. That 41 dot something. Okay. That will be the IP address that you're going to use. Okay. Yes, security. Check if there's other questions that I missed. Okay, did I answer? Okay. Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning in once again. Like and subscribe to our page. We will update the page with quite a few more videos going forward. The PLC doesn't connect to Performance Anywhere. The PLC connects to the Adroit SCADA. The Adroit SCADA then connects to Performance Anywhere. So like and subscribe our page. We will update it fairly often. If you want to show this video to a friend, it will be there probably tomorrow or the day after that. And I hope you guys, like I said, I hope you learned something today. Alright, thank you guys. I'll speak to you guys soon again. Don't be scared. You can email me anytime. You can also send me you can also phone me. my phone number. Let me quickly go back. Where is my phone number? Okay, rather just email me. Okay, so it's marks@adroit.co.za. All right, thanks guys. I'll speak to you guys soon.